take the damn house.
We're good.
Don't make the aisles wide enough for.
All right. You okay?
I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
good.
Okay, want to put
No,
that over
no.
here?
no.
Okay.
God damn it. Okay, you.
Okay, very good. I got it.
Now, would you like the aisle seat or the window seat?
Well, honey, you know I don't care. Whichever one would be best for your poor shoulder.
Don't talk about my shoulder. We said we wouldn't bring it up on this whole trip.
Well, it is obvious. It is going to be a factor.
Well, maybe people will see this and help us. Isn't that a plus?
Well, maybe. But, you know, you didn't need to have that shoulder operated when you knew we were going on this.
I didn't schedule it. I mean, it's scheduled, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. It is what it is. And we said we wouldn't talk about it on this trip.
You're right, honey. I'm so sorry.
You are. The aisle seat, which I prefer, allows me to spread my legs. Is that
You're
all
right.
right?
You're very right. Why don't you sit down right here and let me help you?
Don't help me.
Come on.
Help
Help
me.
you.
Help me with a little bit of the seatbelt, would you?
Yeah. Here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I am okay.
All right.
Maybe, could you help me with my jacket, too? Don't help me enough that people see.
Both sides? Okay.
That's right, just...
All right, let's just put it. All right. Okay. All right. There.
Well, you know, I think we're going to have it.
Yeah.
I think we've been planning this forever, haven't we? I'm sorry. I
Okay.
can't even remember where the hell we started planning
Well,
this
we
trip.
have been planning this.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
We wouldn't want anything to go wrong with this very special vacation.
Okay, hang on.
Here we go.
Are you ready? Here we go.
All right.
We're on our way, girl.
Wow.
I should have taken a minute.
That didn't take long to get off the ground.
Now, here we go.
What a great send-off that was last night.
It was a party to remember.
And I want to thank you for the precious things you said.
Yeah. What do you mean? I mean, I said a lot of things.
What I mean about your toast, don't you? Oh, yeah. There, in front of all of our friends and our family, you looked right at me and said, honey, it's been so much fun. Can you imagine? After 50 years, that's what you said.
That you didn't mind.
Mine, I loved it. Of all the things you could have said, that's what you said. It's been so much fun.
Well, it has. And I'm grateful for all that fun. And here we're going to have even more fun in London.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing. For you to offer to spend a whole week in London to celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary, what a special gift.
Oh, I hope I don't regret it.
Oh, you won't regret it. Wait till you see our schedule. We are going to go to galleries, and we're going to go to gardens and shops and museums and parks and concerts till we drop. And no shopping.
No shopping. Do you have a fever? Or
Things are too expensive there.
I might do some shopping.
Whatever for.
I think I need a shaving brush.
A shaving brush?
Yep. And only in London can you get a beaver or a decent beaver shaving brush.
Oh, good Lord. A shaving brush. Jeez. Well, in that case, I just may have to drop into Liberty's.
Liberty's? That's the most expensive store in London.
Don't you worry about it. Most of this stuff has been in my closet for years anyway. What do I need with another Harris tweed jacket?
That's
Especially where we live.
That's true. That's very true. Well, I hope you like the Brown Hotel. Oh, it's very well located.
Anything, sweetheart. I can't wait.
You know, looking back, it's a wonder we ever got married at all.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think you ever said yes.
Oh, come on. After all, look at the way you put it.
That's the way I put it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You said you thought you could love me? You called that a proposal?
Well, I didn't know you very well.
You knew me all my life.
Not really. I mean, I knew who you were, but I didn't know you.
Well, that may be because you ran around with a younger bunch of girls,
It's true.
and I went around with an older group of guys. Maybe that's what happens when we're the same age.
So that's it.
Well, I didn't know you very well either.
Oh, come on. Although you did say that when I said love you, you don't even know me.
Well, we lived miles apart, and you were working in Providence,
Yeah.
and I was home working, living with my family, and we couldn't see each other very often.
It's true.
Yeah, so it was 1938 after all, and planes were not flying back and forth. We had to take trains and buses. I don't think we saw each other 12 times before we got
Come
married.
on. I don't think that's true.
Listen, do you honestly remember when you first noticed?
Absolutely. I cut in on you at the Thanksgiving Club dance.
How did you even know I could dance?
Well, I knew you first in dancing school when we were 12.
Oh, come on. You never noticed me at dancing school. All you did was dance with the instructor. You were a big show-off.
Yeah, I can't help it if she chose the best dancer in the class.
Oh, please. Well, the truth is, I spotted you there. And when I did, you didn't have a Chinaman's chance of escaping.
Yeah, especially if it took me 10 years to notice you again. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But I must have seen you somewhere.
Well, maybe you did.
What are you talking about, a
Maybe
Chinaman's
you
chance
did.
in hell, by the way?
Well, maybe you did see me somewhere. But I set my cap for you. And that's why you didn't have a chance
Uh-huh.
of escaping.
What are you talking about anyway? There's something here I don't understand.
Right, okay, you're right. My father wrote me a letter once, and in it, he listed all of the specifications I should be looking for in a man.
You're kidding.
And you filled every one of them perfectly.
I'm happy about that, but I never knew there were specifications.
Well, you didn't think I was going to tell you, did you? But I always minded my father.
I didn't. I had no idea he was that kind of guy.
You kidding? You know, he even hired a detective to check out my sister's
You're
pregnancy.
kidding. You got it.
You better believe it.
Well, I guess I should be grateful. But you know, I thought you married me because you loved me, not because I met some specifications from your father.
Oh, honestly, honey. Listen, we've been married 50 years. Don't you think that counts for something? Of course I love you, dummy.
Sometimes I wonder, though.
Well, yeah, of course you do. I wonder sometimes, too.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah. And you know, I might not have married you had I known I was going to spend my honeymoon with 5 guys.
What 5 guys?
What 5 guys? The guys you spent your summer vacation playing with every summer on Nantucket Island, those 5 guys.
You know, looking back, can you think of anybody you know who had the privilege, and it was a privilege, of spending their honeymoon with 5 guys?
Well, at the time, I was furious. There I was, on the ferry, going to Nantucket on my honeymoon, where I had visions of the 2 of us hanging out on the deck, and you're describing the island to me. And you know, I couldn't even find you.
I don't know, what do you mean? Where was I?
Well, where were you? I finally found you in a bar with your buddies. That's where you were.
Now I remember. But I did introduce you. They were crazy about you, by the
Who
way.
cares? I wanted you to myself. I've been waiting a long time to get you to myself.
You're telling me. I hardly had any time at the reception to spend with my ushers. They were some of my best friends. They were my fraternity brothers. Some of them had come all the way from California and Chicago.
Well, yeah, but did you have to have all 12 of them?
I actually only had 10. One was your brother, one was my brother.
Oh, God. Oh, don't mention my brother. Oh, no. What a brat. He was 17, missing his first junior prom. And he was furious because they had just voted him class clown.
Well, he certainly looked pissed off in the wedding pictures, I'll tell you that.
Oh, the wedding pictures. They were the worst.
What was the worst?
Taking those pictures,
That was true. That was true.
they took forever. And all of those old people waiting there at the reception for us to show up. It's a wonder they didn't go home, especially since there was no booze. I'm sorry, honey, but my folks didn't drink. So
Tell me.
I thank your mother for inviting the wedding party after the wedding over to your house for drinks afterwards. What a gal.
That's okay. Actually, we had plenty to drink the night before at the bachelor's party.
I expect you did, but that was still so sweet of you to come serenade me underneath my bedroom window.
It was sweet.
I loved it.
It was sweet.
What did you say?
I'm trying to think, but Old Lang Syne or was it Arlene?
Arlene, that's my
Good
mother's
Lord.
name.
Good
How
Lord.
did you happen to sing that?
Come on. I didn't think I can remember all that.
Well, I'll never forget your cousin Bess coming through the reception line and putting the key to their Nantucket cottage in your hand.
She was nice. She said, you know, she said she knew we had reservations. But then she thought that the Nantucket Island cottage, obviously, would be better. The caretaker had laid a fire out. Maids were going to be missing. It was a perfect situation.
Well, eating out, I thought, gee, that's going to be tough.
Well, the eating out is better than making the food. Remember when you first saw the cottage?
Oh, remember, I couldn't believe my eyes. A 14-room house on a bluff overlooking the ocean, and you call that a cottage?
And all those bedrooms. And we couldn't find a single double bed. A double bed.
And we finally found one in your cousin John's dressing room.
I remember that. She said, warned us that some of the family might drop in while we were there.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of room. But we really did expect your cousin Bill to join us the next day,
He was my best friend. My favorite of all the cousins.
of which I found out there were 22, found out later.
But Cousin Bill was fun to have on board and with us all the time.
Yeah, he was okay, but not every morning, noon, and night. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
I didn't mind that, But when his sisters arrived, that's when the whole thing changed.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, when a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old followed us around everywhere we went, it got a little stuffy.
But we did have fun. Remember those beach picnics with all the kids?
Of course I do. And you can imagine how blown away I was with such an impressive family.
They can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, they can. But only when we had to show up at Cousin Bess's for dinner table, all dressed up, when all we wanted to do was have a hot dog on the beach.
That's true. Well, it didn't last long, actually. And they loved having us there.
Yes, and I sure felt like Specimen A.
You were Specimen A, by the way. They'd never seen anyone like you.
And I'm sure they thought I was going to get knocked up.
Well, it was as if I didn't try.
Oh my God. Nantucket was the perfect place for the perfect honeymoon. but not necessarily with a house full of relatives.
It was nice. But you know, that was where my friend George, I don't know if you remember him, saved us for our lives thereafter. He offered us the apartment his family had just rented for him. He was rooming with his Princeton classmate, so it was empty and available for us.
Yeah.
That was a perfect deal.
That was very good. But that was when your game really dropped in on us. When we had that apartment, it was poker on rainy days, and it was sailing on good days. And I just know you wished you were golfing with them instead of bicycling with me.
How could you ever think that? But it isn't true, though. I loved exploring the island on our bikes with you.
Well, it was the only time I could get you alone.
Well, no matter what you say, you know, looking back, all those guys loved being with us, and that's important too.
Yeah.
Whenever I ran into them today, you know, after all these 50 years, they always say we were the only married couple that would allow them to be around.
What about their parents?
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say you have more Velcro friends.
What do you mean by Velcro friends?
I mean, your friends really stick to you. Look at our wedding night.
What's our wedding night got to do with anything?
Oh, goodness. Don't you remember? Your ushers sent telegrams to be sent to our hotel room every hour.
Well, of course I don't remember. I don't think they did it. I don't remember anything like that.
Well, that's because our friendly concierge did not deliver them every hour. We got them all the next morning.
Well, that was considerate. I do remember that. But do you remember what any of them said?
Oh, I remember one.
What was
And
that?
let me think. Let me get this right, because it said, brush your teeth, comb your hair, jump into bed, and I'll be there, signed, the baby.
Well, if that's any sample, I'm glad I didn't read any of the rest of it.
Oh, I felt so badly because we made such a mess of that hotel room. Do you remember when we opened our suitcase? It was loaded with rice and exploded.
I do. And then there was that time, I think, when you left that garment or whatever it was hanging on the back of the bathroom door.
How in the world did you remember that?
Because that was our first fight. You wanted me to go back and get it. I said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get any lady's garment. I thought you should do it.
Well, at that time you were the head of the family. That's why.
But not for something that personal.
Don't I know it? That cost $20. My bridesmaids thought my wedding dress looked awful without some padding. So your mother's corseteer, she measured me, and she made me a better shape. And that's what that was.
And here I thought all along that what was under there was you.
You found out sense.
I don't think I'll touch that one.
You've touched it plenty of times.
Whoops, hang on.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Oh, my. Oh, gosh. All right. Whew. Hey, that was unfair.
Got my attention, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it did. And honey, when the flight attendant comes along, let's get a champagne split.
Sounds like a plan.
It might settle us down.
Let's hope that wasn't the start, that turbulence, the start of some kind of a pattern.
It was probably just a drop in temperature.
Yours or mine?
I mean, the atmosphere.
What do you know about atmosphere?
I know as much as you do.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, well, anyway, I could use that champagne right now.
I could too. And right after that, I think a wee nap.
Yeah. Oh my. Just think of it. We have a 7-hour trip ahead of us. I think I'll read my book.
reminds me, I wanted to buy a book at the airport, but forgot all about it.
You mean we are just going to have to sit here for 7 hours until we get to London?
Listen, sweetheart, we've been sitting here for an hour just talking. Has it been that bad?
No, of course not. But what are we going to talk about now?
I might point out that we've discussed nothing but the wedding and the honeymoon. I mean, we do have 4 kids. We have many houses.
Yeah,
We have dogs. We've taken many trips. There's a lot to talk about.
yeah, you're right. That was only the beginning.
There it was. After 50 years, though, this is the beginning. Let's go.
Could I ask you something?
Anything, sweetheart.
Have you ever been unfaithful to me?
Anything but that. After all these years, you have to ask?
Well, I've always wondered, because you know what I would do to you if you had...
Well, I hate to think.
Well, I tell you, I would take a baseball bat and I would break both of your kneecaps.
I do love you, Mrs. Jones.
I love you right back.